Riders ready, watch the gate.
Hey, welcome back to the Dirty Knobs podcast. I'm your host, Hollywood Mike Miranda, and my co-hosts are, as always, JV James Vicente and EC Eric Carter. On this episode, we sit and talk with Mike Rodrigues from Crit Plate. He has some guests too, some of his original factory riders. This is going to be a little different episode. We have a little game if you want to play along. You'll hear about the beginning. Just have a drink ready. Anyway, hope you enjoy the show. One more thing, check out dirtyknobs.com for merch and some upcoming stuff we're going to be announcing. Anyway, enjoy the show.
Did we wake you up? You look tired, dude. Shit.
I'm tired. I'm sick.
You're sick and tired.
I'm sick and tired. No, I gotta
looks like you got a hair infection.
I did. I got home from work and I jumped in the scrubber. So scrubbed. And then I was sick this weekend. And we also had our team, basically our whole team was out at Vail for the Halloween thing. They all had campsites. So
I saw your post on that. Something about Halloween. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
It's a big deal over there.
Yeah. So I was out there all weekend and I never got a chance to rest. And so it doesn't help you when you're fighting the cold.
Hey, well, listen, how about this one? We talked to the New England crew is coming on.
Oh, look at this. Look at us getting ready.
I don't care if
I think
I'm
we're
sick.
all I think we're all ready.
Yeah. So here's the game. Every time he mentions the word horror, we're not gonna say any of him, but every time he says the word horror, we have to take a drink.
Dude.
How about, and every time he says the word NBL, we have to take a drink. Well, let's bring those guys in.
Hold on, let me see the gear you're sporting though. What shirt you got on?
Oh, me?
Yeah, what do you got?
Oh, look at that.
Hold on.
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
What about you, JV?
Oh boy.
Oh,
I
just
can't
say,
little Ronnie.
I can't stand too tall because I'm in my undies.
I like it. I like that shirt, that Rob Lane shirt. Look at this one. Boom.
I was going to grab shirts today and I was like, dude, you know what? Let me give Rob a little
Yeah, I like that shirt.
dude, that guy is so awesome.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
Yeah.
All right,
really
let's
good,
bring in the
dude.
crew.
All right.
Oh man.
Let's see what New England has to say.
Here we go. Better get ready.
Dude, will you jump at the gate, JV?
Oh, I thought somebody said horror.
I'm gonna need a kegger.
Oh,
There they are.
Hey, we made it.
Cheers, guys. Yo.
What's going on, boys?
Welcome to the sushi parlor.
Totally.
He's got the Ralph Lee shirt on too.
Exactly.
Yes.
Rob, yep. I know, do my thing. That's what I'm talking about. I like that shirt, Savage. That's sick.
You know it.
There you go.
I didn't put my dirty.
They are JV, right?
There you. Yep. That's.
Talking about.
They were able to squeeze me in there.
I was. They
The
were.
boys.
well, there's our special guest, our New England family. Mike, why don't you give us an introduction, man?
All right, to my right, I have the fastest lady out of New England and one of the first women pro in the sport of BMX, Cathy Tedesco. To my immediate left, my first ever Crit Plate factory rider, Curtis Bland out of Providence, Rhode Island. And you all know this guy, the international mystery man of BMX, Mike Savage out of Connecticut.
Hey.
And where's home for you, Mike? Tell us about where you're from and how this started.
Crit Plate started in Providence, Rhode Island, and in '86 we moved to Cranston, Rhode Island, which I still am here now.
All right.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Well, hey, great to see you all. Well, let me tell you, it brought back memories. I know you posted some stuff today on social, but Cathy, that picture of you with Zuner and Willerer all like on that, it was almost like it was almost like a Terrible 10 type of
Yeah.
type of picture, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was really cool. It brought back a lot of memories to see that shot.
All of the current elite women need to give kudos to all of these ladies who broke the barrier who got paid to race. Yeah,
That's
for
right.
years it was passing the hat around to try to get that purse up, because it wasn't nowhere near the same purse as the guys. But they got it done, and if it wasn't for them to be brave enough to do that, they wouldn't be in the Olympics racing, as an elite woman or anything else at all. So
Yeah, that was a breakthrough for sure, man. That was no doubt. I remember that. That was big. It was a big breakthrough. A big push for it.
They broke the barrier.
The
The
barrier.
I remember
For us California guys, we just love that stuff. The barrier.
yeah.
I remember back in the day, guys being afraid to race the Open because girls
Yeah.
like Cathy would race it and be like, "Oh no, she's racing. I don't even want to bother with it."
Oh yeah.
There was back in, I don't know if it was 80 or 79 or 80. There's the Ocean State Classic at Rocky Hill BMX East Greenwich. And if you run the War of the Stars tour back then, if you raced the Ocean State Classic, you got War of the Stars points. I think it was 80 because all the pros, the Pattersons were on tour, Team Skyway, everybody, including Jason Jensen from Talker. But there was a girl that was his age, was a Sherry McDonough, I think. Sherry McDonough from Rhode Island that raced, and she would have kicked his ass. He went out for practice, Jason Jensen, and never left his band, never came out to race again for that day because he was scared to get beat by Sherry McDonough.
That'll happen. Something about that name Sherry, huh?
Yeah.
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 Right. Hey,
Jeez.
Mike and Curtis, Savage and Curtis, did you guys ever race her?
No,
Cathy? No.
Yeah.
It's with her many times, and yeah.
Yeah, no.
You can tell us the truth.
Come
Hey,
on,
you
man.
can tell us the truth. You were in the
you
van.
you were sick in the van too, huh?
Yeah, you were holding hands with Jason Jensen in the van.
Yeah. I took the pedal.
There you go.
Yeah.
You were like, Jason, move over, man. I need some room here in the
I
van.
want to get in the van with you. Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't want to get beat by a female.
Oh man, yeah. Listen, no doubt that Cathy broke a lot of the barriers down, but fast is fast, no matter the gender. Fast is fast, and being able to ride is being able to ride. I mean, that's
Yeah.
always been a fan, huh, girl? Always been a fan.
Yeah.
All right. So listen, you guys are you guys are like since we started with Dirty Fest, right when we said we were gonna announce doing Dirty Fest, one of the first people that reached out to me was Mike Rodrigues, man, right off the bat. Said, "Hey, if you guys need number plates or sausages or whatever," he said, "I gotcha." So we were always gonna be grateful, Mike, for that forever. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you, my man.
No, my pleasure.
And I think all the one thing that all of us on this podcast have in common is that we had all at one point rode crit plates.
Well, everything but JV. He's a 09 guy.
Yeah, but I got a plate now.
But now he's officially co-sponsored by Cripley.
That's
Yeah.
right. Now he has a crit plate.
I do.
Put it on proud.
Never late than never.
Curtis put it on for me. That's right.
Well, listen, first I want to say that the last episode you had with Kevin Shepperman, I'll just jump ahead real quick. I know, Mike, you tried to, start something between 09 and Crit. Kevin was already out of the picture. He was playing with dolls and stuff. It was Owen and I who used to battle, but we'll talk about that later.
We don't have to wait.
Yeah,
We
why
don't have to
later?
wait.
No.
Hollywood, bring
It was
it on.
I totally respect 09 as number plate company. Because they are a true number plate company. They manufacture, they make and design themselves. They make it in the United States. They are a true United States company and a great competitor. And I always love competing with them in the number plate business. Simple as that. Always have.
Well, is that so? You would consider them your competition?
I would, yes. Back in '84, they were so strong, and it was their time. '85 is when I started making, started sponsoring, the Blue Max team, Kenny Amon and Greg Hill on his cruiser when he was running for Redline. He couldn't do it on his 20-inch because he had that forklifter plate, but he had me on the cruiser. I started making inroads sponsoring some of the national riders in '85. But '86 that's when Crip took over. '86, '87, and from that point on.
Okay, so when did Curtis come on? When did Savage come on? And when did Cathy come on?
All right, so I started Crip Plate in 1980. I had a crossroads with myself. I left school in the 9th grade, and was never looking back. And I made a decision in '82 that winter of '82 January that I was either going to go back to school or go to the Army National Guard, or I was going to make Crip Plate work. And I chose Crip Plate. And I said, okay, I need to get a factory team. And in Providence, at the old North Main Street Rhode Island Auditorium, there was an indoor track. Cement floors, wooden jumps, the stanchion post in the middle, and so on. And here's Kurt. I was from Providence. Here's Curtis, 14 old scrappy
Just a
neighborhood
dumb kid
kid,
from the streets.
hauling ass and like a bulldog kicking butt. And Curtis just brought with me tonight his typed out Crip Plate factory contract that since he was a minor, his parents had to sign. Judy and his stepdad Neil.
Your first check.
And my first.
Oh my gosh.
So it was 1982. January of 1982 Curtis was my full factory rider. 5 nationals, paid, uniforms, bikes, and I partnered up with GT.
Curtis, were you riding for a bike shop at the time or something, or?
Yes, I actually was a bike shop out of Rutland, Vermont, called Sports Peddlers BMX.
Between Savage and Cathy, who came next?
It was Cathy. 1984.
Cathy, tell us how that happened.
Yeah, Mike gave me a chance, and he really was the only one in BMX that really ever gave me a chance. And he has a special place in my heart, and made me, I think, really gave me that opportunity to go to nationals and I was just a kid. My parents really weren't into the scene, and he got me transportation and entry fees, and I think one year threw me a Hollywood frame, and
it was. We actually wrote a pink Hollywood frame.
And we were just
Never heard of it.
We're sponsored by Huff.
I knew I loved her for a reason.
That's awesome.
I knew she was a favorite of mine for a reason.
But Cathy's being very modest. If you were at an NBL national on the East Coast, what the name you heard, and it wasn't Bob Tedesco's name.
Take a drink.
It was Cathy Tedesco was over the microphone, constantly in the lead. She destroyed everybody. And when it came down to the big nationals and Gabby Bay and everybody else, she was right there in the mix. It was everyone going back and forth. It was a great competitive class, and she always made me proud. Just a humble, good human being right here. All of them.
And Cathy, who are you racing for before you got on with Crit? Nobody.
Wow.
The duct
Good
tape.
one.
Duct tape around the pants.
Wow, duct tape on the pants.
Yeah. Look at that.
So you only had one sponsor your whole career.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
Awesome.
That is sick.
And Mike can tell you where he started from as far as racing and so on before he joined Crit.
Yeah, I came in as a co-sponsor first, believe it or not. I wasn't actually on the factory team. I
We
was.
didn't like you, that's why.
No, Mike said he didn't have the budget for me, so I had to wait. I had to go to co-sponsor deal first.
Yeah, but you worked and rode for Jim Parrott out of Connecticut.
Well, yeah, but
In Profile Co-Factory.
yeah, well, I was on the national team, but so yeah,
Factory support.
yes, pretty much. So yeah, I went co-factory first, then I went factory full time in 1986. So I did.
How did that work out? What'd you do to earn that factory sponsorship? What moved you up?
I think I just sold more number plates. I was able to
Yeah,
afford
there you
them.
go.
I picked up a new distributor.
Yeah, there you
Every
go.
time we race, he beat me. So
Yeah. So I beat the hot shot, and then I became the hot shot and demoted him down.
See how that works?
There you go.
Yeah, right, see?
Every single one of my riders, especially there's so many that are rode for Crip Plate. There's not a lot, but there's stages of the GT. Because my first team in '82 was a GT factory support. We wore the GT kit, and you spend $125. You get the bike, the frame, fork, bars, the pad set, the helmet, the gear bag, the pants, and all that stuff.
Like it is
And,
back.
and, and on the back, in the felt stencil letters with the heat press machine, it was Crip BMX Products factory team on the back of everyone's jersey. So that was 1982. 1983 is when we said goodbye to GT and we picked up, and I believe that's when Greg was still riding for GT, Greg Hill, but his dad started Star Bars and Star Products. And we get sponsored by Star Bars in those cool seat posts. And then the frame and forks.
I still have a Star frame.
He has the original. It was my Star frame and fork that was the first in New England back in 1983. We still have. And Robbie Lincourt in 1983
Won a national
was
championship.
national number 1 on that Star BMX bike.
And you still have it, Curtis.
He still has it.
In my basement, sitting there.
Wow, shit.
I'm surprised he didn't race that at Dirty Fest.
That would
Don't
be
you dare, man. I wouldn't put it at risk.
So
Hey,
said-
nope, that thing's hanging and
Yep.
staying there.
So in
Dude,
'83,
that's
it
a
was
rare
all-
bike, man.
Yeah, it is.
So in '83, it was an all-white uniform, Max pants, race-ready white jerseys. My first real sponsor with Echo helmets, Mom Pa Echo, Hatch gloves, Terry cable. I mean, the amount of co-sponsors I had, Vans. I mean, everybody you can think of. Michael Godey from Trog pedal cages,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Missouri Outlaw, and
You look like a caveman, that kid.
yeah.
Hey,
Yep.
hey,
So in the '83 up to '84 was I call it the White Album, all white jerseys with Crip BMX and little like GT wings that were blue and black, and that was it. It was clean. I had a massive team. '84 is when I went to the classic M&M apparel, the yoke, sleeve, black sleeve, the black shoulder, baby blue, white,
Yeah.
and the CP logo. Now it's not shown here, but the logo inset was Tracer Finn. I stole off the Woodward brochure of him jumping, and that was inside my CP logo. Was Tracer Finn jumping inside the logo?
by the way, he's still
You got a lot of play with that stuff.
But at that's when I streamlined like 12, 13 riders in the White Album era in '83 to Curtis Bland, Cathy Tedesco, Mike Savage, little Paul Moore out of Attleboro, Massachusetts, and then it was little Stevie Moden, and a few other people.
National number one.
But that was
Man.
that was '84. So it went down, it condensed down, but it was more concentrated. And I never went after team trophy, especially when I had one time in '80. I had Lincourt on my team in '83. So if I had Lincourt and all those other people, it's just showing up and signing up for team trophy, and they would have handed it to me. I was never interested in that.
You think so? Why were you not interested in Team Trophy?
I just don't know if I was more interested in selling number plates and beating Haro
Take a
and
drink.
gaining ground on 09. And then I was racing competitively up into 82, 83. And then I found that competing in the number plate business, I felt more of a jive out of that than racing my BMX bike. That's when I became more of the entrepreneur and more professional of business wise than just a guy that was riding BMX bikes making number plates.
Hey,
All right.
Mike, let me rewind a second because I don't know if I know how you came up with the name Crip.
All right. So in 1980, my first number plate, this is the first production airflow that's about a half-inch thick. You can't even bend it, and it was using my dad's Milwaukee drill press with a metal drill you put in there and all manual holes.
Hold it up to the camera a little closer so we can see it.
Aerodynamic.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got it.
Mike Savage is actually riding one original production from 1980. He rode it at Dirty Fest in Frogtown.
I could hear him when he got going fast on the downhill. When he was fast on the downhill, you could hear going.
Yeah,
with all the holes. I heard it.
it's
But,
like a deer whistle.
but Mike, the first name of Crypt Plate was actually called Rad Plate. I had a little cutout stencil, and I would screen print Rad Plate on there. And there was a local bike shop in Rhode Island.
Ocean State.
No, it was Van Leuven's place.
Okay.
Jeff Van Leuven's dad goes, "Hey Mike, when you stop picking up steam, Joe R Manufacturing, who makes the rad pads, is probably gonna give you some shit about having rad plates." It was the picture that Vans Tennis Shoes put up an ad of Bobby Woods and Scott Clark jumping and clicking their rear wheels in the air, and it said "Getting Crit," and that's where the Crit name came from. Was the Vans ad of 1980?
Oh,
I remember that picture actually.
Yeah.
did you know that story, Mike? Miranda?
No.
EC?
I didn't know the story, but I remember the picture. I vividly remember the picture of those two in the air.
Yeah.
Was it taken at a race?
And no, there must have been. It was definitely a photo session somewhere. I don't know where it was, but it was them. Somewhere in California. They had that photo shoot, and and there it was in the ad.
Can you guys tell me, in your opinion, the 5 best racers from New England?
Oh, I was gonna ask something close to that.
Yeah, I bet
too.
you were.
Well,
You're gonna break down.
it's
New
hard.
England,
It's hard.
Northeast,
It's really hard.
Well, what do you guys call where you live? Do you call it New England? Do you call it?
Rhode Island, Mass, Connecticut, is New England.
Okay, so New England. That's what I want to know. Not Northeast, because that'll open a whole can of worms. New England.
If you start putting in New Jersey and New York, and
No. That's East
No.
Coast. We already went through that big argument.
Jersey and New York is East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, every era has a person that will go down in New England history as being some of the best. Jimmy Parker.
Yeah, but I want each of you your opinion of the top 5 racers from New England.
you want me to go first?
Yes.
Yeah. Go for it.
From New England, my personal opinion would be, of course, Jimmy Piva, Robbie Lincourt. I put Mike Crean in there, but he transferred from Rhode Island to Florida, so I don't know if that counts. This guy sitting next to me, Mr. Savage. Sean Dupree.
That's later. Sean came later. Though.
Yeah, Sean was later on.
In the early days.
If you're talking,
No, I don't care. You just tell me the top 5. You gave me your 5.
all right, what I gave you, Jimmy Piva, Robbie Lincourt, Mike Savage,
Crehan.
Graham
and Sean
and
Dupree.
Dupree.
Okay.
There's
Savage.
lot more.
Okay, I'm gonna start out Darren Waterbury.
I was just gonna say
Yep.
Waterbury. I was waiting for it.
Absolutely, Darren Waterbury.
He would have been my number 2.
Well, he's from Connecticut. I'm from Connecticut, so I'm going him first.
And I can vouch for
Jimmy
that.
Piva's- I'm going Jim Piva second. Yeah, Jim Piva second. I'll go Mike Crehan. I'll go Sean Dupree, and I'll go old school cruiser guy John Rhodey.
There you
There you
go.
go.
A lot of people don't know John Rhodey, but he was an older cruiser rider that he just always won and just broke grounds with like the bike shop and the team and always being there.
And he raced with the Browning 2-speed.
Yeah,
I love it.
Cheater. Hey,
yeah, exactly.
Eater, he says.
all right. Hey. All right, Mikey. I'm sick. Go ahead. What's your 5, Mikey?
Let Cathy go next. I'll be last.
Okay.
I didn't mention
Because I'm going to tell you right now, I differ so far from the first 2.
All right.
Well, you didn't mention any women.
I didn't mention
That's right. Thank you, Kathy. I was going to say, you punks didn't even mention your teammate. Kathy was absolutely one of the best. For sure.
Mike Crehan, I just loved watching him. He was smooth as butter.
Yes.
Every track. I could just watch him all day long. So Mike Crehan. Shout out to Heather Paghetti because she's my homie. And I always had to race her. So I always really enjoyed her company. Of course, Jim Piva, because I always liked doing the Piva.
Jim's just Jim.
And-
Jim.
And
Yeah.
nobody really knew what the Piva was outside of Massachusetts. Do you guys?
Penalty.
you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
know?
I did. Yep.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's
That's
it.
3.
Yeah, I know.
Two more to go.
2-4. Robbie Lincourt, my teammate. Yeah, I mean national number 1. How can you not enjoy watching him? Oh, I got another one.
There's a lot of them out there. but-
I know. And you know, there are some local racers that really never went nationally that were just phenomenal.
There's just so many in New England. It was just
Yeah, that just didn't get outside of New England that were just
Yeah.
great. You know, that really gave Mike Korean runs for his money and Rob Linkport, but just never had that opportunity to leave their hometowns. So
Where was Crehan from?
Massachusetts.
Mass.
He's from Mass. I was just gonna say. And what? How come there's no Mass people? But yeah,
He,
Crehan.
well,
Well, we'll talk about him in a second.
he transferred to Florida. I think.
Yeah.
After-
Later,
86
yeah,
or
later.
After Bill Prince
87.
stole him from my team.
Yeah, 87. He was off the team. He went to MCF.
Yep.
He went to Florida.
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 So,
The sausages are better.
yeah.
All right, Mike.
No,
I would have to say Jim Piver always, because he's one of my idols. The first day I ever raced, I saw Jim riding Factory Panda out of New England at our local track. That was the local track was the NEBA, the sanctioned body's first day. His sponsor was the owner of NEBA, owner of Rocky Hill BMX, and owner of the iconic bike shop in Coventry, Rhode Island, Ocean State BMX. So that was like Mecca. And Jimmy was everything that Jim did, from style, from jumping, from racing like a bulldog. I mean, he was it. He was one of my early idols right from the get-go. So I would say Jimmy Piper.
No
And I'm
doubt.
selfish and talk about the riders that rode for my team, except only one as far as the fastest out of New England. I
Did
would have to say-
Jim Piper never rode a crit plate?
no, he did not until later on in the 2000s. But no, and I always respected Jim. He rode Factory 09. But we always had a great friendship and so on. I always supported Jim. He was such the New England underdog racing that pro class, and it was a great time.
First time I saw him in the gate with the pros, and he was in practice, and he snapped, and he was out in front, and it was at the Memorial World Cup in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And I was like, who is that guy? And because I had to keep watching him, and I ended up talking to him that day, and he was the nicest guy. He was the nicest guy. Although just like talking to you guys, about every 4th or 5th word, I go, what did he say? What is that? What's that word? Florida.
There's
Not
footage
clock.
of him from either 1980 or 81, the NBA Grand Nationals, and I don't know if it's Knoxbury or wherever it was. He's in there riding Factory Panda, and he podiumed back then in California. So he's
Right.
always been in the mix and always made New England proud.
I did not know he rode for Factory Pander.
Yes,
He did.
Pander and
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it every single time now. Got clocked.
I had extra hours everywhere.
Yeah.
But I would say Jim Piper.
That's one.
I would have to say Robbie Lincourt because he not just fast in New England, he was fast everywhere.
Yep.
And I'll tell you a story about him real quick. Part of this being the fastest. When he rode for my team in '83, there's a picture of us at South Park in front of Curtis's stepdad Neil's black and white van, and we're sitting there, and he's the only one with a trophy. And
What race was that? What race was it?
1984 or 85 South Park, and 84. And I remember being his sponsor. I would go up to the moto boards and find all my riders' gates and stuff and write it down. And his class, he raced against the young icons of the sport: Jason Theodore, Robert Swick, you name it. That back then, you name it, he raced against the who's who of Long Cunningham, everybody. And
That was a fast class. That was a real fast class.
So here I am from Rhode Island, at this national in South Park, writing his numbers down, and there are all the parents and all those fast guys saying, "Who's this Lincourt kid?" And I'm like, "Don't you wait and see," because he's gonna tune you up, and sure he did. He won. And from 1984 on, Robbie was gone. You know, he's made such a great name for himself. You know, they get picked up by Factory Eagle Snacks and so on. And then towards the end of his career, you know, that world class team that he still has a contract tucked away. He never went. He retired. You know, roll the wheels. I would say Robbie Linkport was such a consistent badass.
And he won national number 1 on my bike.
Yeah, that's right.
Why did he stop riding?
I would have to say, you know, he's number 2.
Hey Mike, why did Linkport stop riding, man? If he had these offers and he was still winning.
16, 17, car, girls, breakdancing, you know, you get the cardboard the corner was breakdance for money. I don't know exactly why, but he was all done.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that breakdancing almost got all of us.
Yeah, EC was a big break. He brought his cardboard with him.
Oh yeah.
He could have went on to
I look like a breakdancer, don't I?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And, I'll have to say my third would have to be Mike Savage, because not just being New England, Mike rode 17 and over expert, then it was 18 and over expert, and to race against that class from Connecticut, racing against all the local California who's who, Charlie Townsend, Rick Palmer, and the list goes on. Kevin Hall to race and to podium, but not just race, but he had mad style, and to break ground with him jumping as well, make a name for himself. Mike, you know, is jumping, you know, the Savage Snap and all of that. So many people know Mike for that. But if you raced Mike's competitors know from back then in the 80s, you know, Irvine World Cup to wherever else, Mike surprised everybody. He always surprised. Well, what's Savage? And it's Savage on Cruiser and
always
20,
in the mix.
always kicking ass. So I'd have to say, you know, at that era and at that age group and who was in there, I would say Mike would be, you know, the third. You know, and again, I'm not going who's the best out of 5. I'm
Right. Just your top 5. Who's number 4?
Number 4, I'm gonna have to say he's really. Well, I'm gonna say Cathy, because there was no one that can match Cathy in New England, regardless of what she says about Heather Pichetti out of Westfield and all that. No, there isn't, because
I agree.
What she did for women's and girls racing as far as a role model,
groundbreaking.
you know, and to beat the boys, just like Sherry Elliott from California would kick the boys' ass, they'd be afraid to race against her. Same thing here. So I would have to say that out of my top 5, you know, one of my 4th picks would be this young lady right here.
I thought she was the Sherry Elliott of the East Coast.
Yeah,
She definitely is.
That's what I said.
I can go. I can add 3 or 4 more riders, but I would
Yeah,
have.
but it's only a 2-hour podcast, so let's just give us one more.
I was like one. I would have to say Curtis, because Curtis was my first rider, but what he did was,
Really?
you know,
You're being biased.
I'm not. It is
You can be biased. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm biased.
That's the whole reason why I sponsored the guy.
Yeah, I'm totally biased. Yeah, absolutely be biased.
The best in New England rode for my Crit Factory team. If you rode for Crit Plate, it may not be a big team, but you were one of the best riders. But I would have to say Curtis. But he came out of obscurity, out of New England, out of Providence, and he made a name for himself. And he was tough as nails. He's a true champion. If it wasn't for Curtis, if it wasn't for his mom and his stepdad Neil and Judy, who were my my BMX parents, Crit would have never got off the ground to where it needed to be.
That's awesome.
They took me everywhere. They're family. And it's just not, I'm not saying that just to make Curtis part of the top 5. His riding spoke volumes. So
well, JV and I have talked about it. We absolutely love talking to him because he's hilarious. He's absolutely one of us. He's definitely a dirty knob.
Yes.
The true gentleman also, by the way.
Thank you,
But-
guys.
Just because he put your plate on for you, that's why you.
Well, I did
Howie,
appreciate
I
that.
got something for you at the end of this too. It's a little surprise.
That I found through his junk over there.
all right, so let me back up a little bit.
It's a good thing.
1983, I received my first state plate from the NBL, and Rhode Island gave a hot plate for the state award number plates. I'm like, what the F is this? how come they're not using a crib plate? And I made it my business for 1984. I reached out to every single NBL state commissioner and crib plate, and it's a fact, 09, okay? It's a fact that crib plate had over 75% of the NBL states in 1984 using their state number plates as crib plate. And then the battle was on from that point on between 09 and crib plate in regards to the state plate battle.
Why didn't you go after the West Coast teams or West Coast states?
The West Coast states and being in New England, you know, in Rhode Island, I was fortunate enough as the NBL grew and the ABA NBL battle continued to blossom, and as the Northeast and East Coast became such a vibrant talent pool that the more guys want factory, and the West Coast. I mean, you mentioned it about coming back to the East Coast and racing some fast cats, and you know, and with
Dude,
the
I'd never heard of, man.
Yeah.
Dude, I will tell you that my first year, I did a couple races when I was on free agent. I came to NBL Grands, but I only got 5 scores. I got just so I could race Grands, and I got those out here in the West. So I really didn't know. When I got on Hutch and I started racing NBL stuff, there were guys I had never heard of. I never heard of these guys, man. And they were fast. Like, I was like a little bit intimidated because normally I knew all of my, I knew all of my guys, and yeah, well, I knew the guys that I used to race, and I knew how to race them. And now it was like a whole new catalog of guys I had to figure out. I had to figure out where they were good, where they weren't, and man, it was tough.
And if you raced a lot of ABA, the transfer system, you didn't push it all 3 motos.
Right.
All the NBL guys on the East Coast, all 3 motos, 8s, quarters, semis, you had a hustle. So no one gave up. So
yeah, tracks were different too. And the tracks were different. We didn't have those type of tracks out here. Our tracks were flatter, and they were more like Calborn,
loop inside of a U.
Yeah, they were U inside of U. They were really simple, and where when you go back east, they're in state parks and things like that, and they have more speed and they're faster. The berms were bigger. It was just
they were nicer.
They were way nicer by a mile. Like, it wasn't even close.
Yeah,
I mean, like, not even remotely close. It was eye-opening for me to go back east and see it was a whole different sport for me.
Yeah. All the motorhomes surrounding the track, and
yeah, it was a whole.
It's like what the California riders will experience. They went to a motocross race, like a big supercross race with all that hoopla, that big.
Yeah, it was very. I will tell you, it was very eye-opening, and I was a little bummed that it had taken me so long to get back east and to race that stuff, because it was, man, I truly loved it. I loved coming. I loved when the summer tour stuff would start, because I would get to come back east and race the tracks. And I loved racing the tracks. I loved how fast you went and how big the jumps were. The berms were you could ride anywhere on the berms. You didn't have to be on like this little line. You could ride anywhere. So you could pass 3 guys from the entrance to the turn to the exit of the corner if you did it right. So I was really, really stoked. I'm glad that was able to get on Hutch, and Mike gave me that opportunity, and to get back east, to get a real taste of what that was like, because it really was like 2 different sports. The sanctioning bodies were so different. It was crazy.
Did you guys race a lot of ABA when you were younger, in the beginning of your career?
I'd say I did more than these guys did, just because I was closer to New Jersey, where the ABA was tracks. Because I did Braddock Park, I did the Armory, I did New York.
I did the Armory mostly in the winter because there was no racing outdoors due to the New England weather. So we would go to the Armory, and then every year we would do where was the Ironman Classic?
Howell.
At Howell, Howell Township.
We do the Howell.
But well,
back then they had regional nationals, and we did all of them, Howell, Braddock, and that was about the stint of my ABA racing. Which would be probably New Jersey, and then a little for maybe 2 years in Rhode Island, local track went from NBL to ABA, and it switched. For some reason, it switched back to NBL.
Take a drink.
Didn't we ride? Didn't we go to
JV.
on a Saturday?
Yes.
Like in 82, 83, we would go to Hopkinton and Northborough, Massachusetts,
Race
ABA,
corner.
and then highlight
Northborough.
back to Rhode Island for NBL.
Yeah.
And if
Take a
we had time, there was a third ABA track. And if you had time, if you did quick qualifying and get out, you could call ahead, register, show up, race one race, get your points, and hightail it back to Rhode Island.
So at one point in New England, we would race in the mornings ABA and then race the evenings. If we can get that second race in ABA, and then night would go back to Rhode Island and do an NBL race. So we
Take a
literally
drink.
would race 3 tracks, 2 different organizations in one day.
That's
Hence,
crazy.
hence the reversible
Yeah.
crib plate.
Yeah.
Aha!
Ah, that's a segue right there, kid.
Yeah, look
Nice.
at that.
Nice.
Son of a biscuit.
With the
See
nut
that?
and the bolt.
Dude, he
In
jumped
the
on that,
morning,
didn't he?
NBL at night. Boom,
Take a
boom,
drink.
boom.
Hear that? Hear what he said, JV? ABA. He said ABA in the morning and NBL at night.
NBL at night.
So crib plate was the first number plate that would fit on any handlebar without having to cutting it or modifying it. And it was the first one that was reversible with the nylon nuts and bolts.
Yeah, I
So
remember that.
today, everybody's still using crib plates and original invention, the nylon nuts and bolts. So it started in 1980. And still being used now.
Yeah, I had the little Velcro straps that would bolt
Yeah.
on.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Well,
remember.
that was
I would
original-
take those. I would take those off and give them as rings to girls.
Hey, Mike, of the 3 there sitting next to you, which one was the biggest pain in the ass? You gotta be honest.
Oh, right here, right there.
Not even a hesitation.
We'll talk about some travel stories in a few minutes. But, oh my goodness! Since Mike is a total butterfly now. I mean, holy moly, he's talking up a storm. He's announcing his own races. He's doing whatever. But if you knew him back in the '80s, he was a clam up. He was.
Oh,
awkward.
I know.
He was awkward. Wouldn't talk to you. Had to be facing the dirt and all that. And I would bust his chops all the time. I would have my little briefcase, all the stickers on the airplane, and I would have candy like Whoppers and all that. And he's like, I don't want any cruddy Whopper. I'd bust his balls all the time. And
Sour Patch Kids.
Sour Patch Kids and all that. But he was just straightforward, got on a bike and did his thing. But yeah, he was. I used to. Oh,
And he's still doing his thing. How many tracks have you raced now, Mike?
I did the Vintage National in Tulsa, Oklahoma last week, so that was a new track from last year's track.
All right, you count that.
It was a
You're
totally
whole different track. Yep.
totally different
Right.
track. So I counted it as a new track. It was the
Yep.
537 different track I have raced at.
537.
That I've actually raced at. I've
Yeah.
been to like 600 BMX tracks and ridden them, but I've only raced it 537.
And how many times have you announced now?
I have announced it 92 different tracks, but I've announced
Holy.
300 races at
Yeah.
tracks.
That is amazing. Seriously, it is amazing.
I know he
Impressive.
came to Wheelhouse BMX and announced in Prescott Valley, Arizona.
I think you were 535, 534.
Yeah.
Somewhere I could look that up.
these two have done awesome as far as they raced every vintage, classic race this year from Dirty Fest to Texas to Frogtown to Tulsa, and they've cleaned up. Curtis unfortunately had a couple of cleanups on the track at Frogtown,
Yeah.
That was tough for me.
but he made a couple of great highlights on YouTube for doing that. So it was a good smile, but they won everything.
Hey, so I have 2 questions regarding to vintage racing. Number 1, will you 3 guys be back for the return of Dirty Fest 2?
Well, man,
You're really gonna ask that question?
Yeah, come on.
we hope.
But the most important question I have to ask is Cathy Tedesco, will you be at Dirty Fest this
We
year?
hope so.
Well,
That's
That would
all
be
I want to
great.
see.
That would be
that
great.
would be fantastic.
Hey, I wanted to ask one question. I didn't get to ask.
Yep.
Going back to Savage and all the track, I'm blown away at how many tracks you've raced, Mike.
Okay.
And that. So, do you know how many that you haven't that you still are waiting to tick off? Do you have a list?
just the new ones that have opened up recently that it's like, I've had a little trouble getting there. So I think there's 4 that I need to go to that I haven't gone to that are current tracks that opened this year. So
Only 4.
That's it.
Only
Just
4.
Only 4.
Unbelievable.
There's no other tracks other than 4 new ones. Is that real?
Testing them out.
yes.
Wow.
The track, he'll be there.
Yeah, I flew out to Hollywood's track, second race ever. I flew out a day trip. I flew out in the morning, raced his race, got back on the red eye, and flew home the same night.
Unbelievable.
That is awesome.
I asked him, I said, what are you up to? He goes, I'm jumping on a plane. I'm going to Vegas to Hollywood's track. I was like, when? Next week? No, tonight. I was like, all right.
4.
I said,
Wow.
hey, come, you want to spend the night in my house? Oh, I got to catch the red eye.
So
I thought it was going to be in the hundreds or something.
here's 2 classic
No,
Mike's.
4. Only 4.
Here's
And they
2
just opened this year. That's why I haven't done them.
Good
Here's
night.
2 classic Mike Savage stories. 2010, Jim Piper and I are in York, Pennsylvania at the ABA National. I get the crit tent, the crit compound set up by the ABA rig, and I hear and Bill Curtin yells out, "Hey Mike, I got my track operator on the phone from Alaska. Said there's some dude from Connecticut that just showed up." And Bill's like, "Oh, that must be Mike Savage." And I goes, "How do you know?" And because there's Mike. Mike took a. How'd you get there? What'd you do?
I had to take 5 flights.
Took a dog sled. And,
I had to go from Hartford, Connecticut to Chicago to Seattle to Anchorage to Fairbanks.
And did you ever call the track operator saying you were coming?
No, I just showed up when registration opened.
No, he doesn't tell anybody. He just shows up.
And what was the other one I want?
Hollywood, did you know he was coming to your track?
No.
No, I saw
Yeah,
him. He's watering the track, and I rode on by. And he's like, I rode by.
That's the truth. I was just watering the track and he rides by. I was like,
It can't be. Right?
wait, that's Mike Savage.
There you go.
Another time in the early 2000s.
That's how that works.
What series was that in England or wherever it was? That
Switzerland.
Switzerland. So Mike, there was a Swiss series, weekly series. Mike would fly out from Connecticut on a Friday, race the series, win the series, the race, fly home, be at work on Monday, and then fly back out. How long was that? How
It was
many
every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. They thought he was a local, and he won everything.
Man.
Crazy.
What did you
That's amazing.
what was it?
Savage.
A canned ham.
What
A canned ham. Hey, Mike. Best track and worst track.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, are you talking to me or are you talking?
Yeah, I'm talking to you,
Savage.
Savage. You.
Oh man, I bet have ridden so many tracks. It's hard to pick a track. It's like I will say one of the craziest ones with the 1985 Devonshire Downs North Campus with that big crazy pro jump.
Yep.
I hit that big crazy pro jump on the Friday.
Nope, I went around it.
What was the worst track? And if you say mine, I'm going to come through this phone and beat your.
The track's good. I won your race, so I like your track.
That's right.
Classic, 1983.
No,
That was terrible. But
That was one-
Was there ever a track that you got to and you're like, oh man, I mean, it's a track, but
I
Can't
sort of do
believe it.
that now. I mean, you go to tracks that aren't what you expect them to be, but I like to make, how do I make this work? That's my goal now. I was like, okay, the turns aren't right, the jumps aren't right, the gate is crooked, but I like the challenge of trying to ride a track that's not right and make it so it's cool.
it's a good political answer.
No,
Appreciate
it's I'm not gonna fly halfway across the world to go to a BMX track and go, oh, this sucks, and go home.
Yeah,
I
That's
gotta
true.
deal with it.
That's true.
That is
I'm
true.
like, and I know a lot of people put a lot of work into these tracks, so to go there and go, oh, your track sucks. I was like, okay, yeah.
That North Carolina track when it was like mush and
It snowed.
like
Yeah, but that's due to the quality of the dirt because of weather. But EC was saying that we did some clinics. We on the summer tour,
Dude.
we did some clinics at some local races. EC.
It was honest to goodness. I'm not kidding you. It was like this. The track had been abandoned for like 6 months,
Yeah.
And that, so they knew that we were coming to town. So they mowed the weeds so they were at ground level, but there was only a single track because
Like a
all the
pump track.
kids only rode one line for 6 months. They'd never ridden it. Like it was literally like that. The rest of the track was covered in weeds that were mowed down.
Yeah.
It was the craziest shit I've ever seen, dude.
Yeah.
If you have to pass, try to make a pass inside outside, you need a
You
lawnmower.
were literally in the weeds, man. Like it was covered with weeds, the whole track, except for one line all the way around the track.
That must have been the fastest line, right?
Yep. If you took another line, grasshoppers would be flying out when you moved off that thing. It was crazy. But that was serious. That's some of the tracks we went to were just like that.
In the Midwest, man. It was nuts.
Let's talk about some behind the scenes history a little bit in regards to business wise.
What do you got?
Crip Plate, again, I say 09 because they were probably my biggest adversary. Haro was already freestyling out of the really number plate business as far as going after and having teams ride. Yeah, you had Harry, Larry, and Stu, and some guys still Doug Davis and that's still riding Haro plates, but 09 really was the next phase. And then I was going after it. That was the next in line. And then there was that change of God in 87 and 88. And there was the battle from there. But in 1980, going into 1988, I was at a crossroads with Crip Plate. That was a single product company. And here I am, my competitors had frame, forks, complete bikes. They're bringing import bikes in, wrist wrap gloves and all this cool stuff. And I have number plates. So my cash flow wasn't as strong as my competitors. And I was just me. But my biggest negotiation was with my biggest distributor, and that was MCS Bicycles. I had a joint venture that was drawn up by my attorney here in Rhode Island that was beautiful, and moved Crip Plate in 88 to Pompano Beach in the MCS headquarters. I was down, and at the time, I had the who's who on written contract, and I was paying them every month. And I had half the Mongoose squad. I had Eric Roop and Shelby James. 09 had Sam and Travis. I had the whole cyclecraft program riding Crip Plate, and on and on and on. And those were checks every month. Shelby, I would pay him in savings bonds so he wouldn't lose his amateur status at the time. But the money was big. You paid amateurs, you paid pros, you paid teams, and photo contingencies were big and all that. And my first few weeks down there, I moved Crip Plate down there, and matter of weeks, they're already trying to change the terms of the contract. They sent a letter without my knowledge to every program and rider that was under contract, paid contract, and discontinued and canceled those contracts behind my back. Eric Roop is like calling me. Well, what's going on? I didn't even see the letter until it was already too late. So that's one thing. So that's July, that's August, September of 88. I had a brand new $18,000 Eagle Premier car, my first ever car. Really car besides the $25 clunker we just used on the tour from Memphis to Pensacola and all that. And they were paying
Pensacola?
And he bought an Eagle Premier.
Eagle Premier.
He bought an Eagle Premier. He literally bought one.
Yeah. Well, there's a story behind that.
He still bought an Eagle Premier.
Yeah, Eagle Premier.
Eagle Premier.
Yeah, it was a 4-door luxury car, the same engine as DeLorean and all that junk.
It sounds to me
Anyways,
that sounds like a flight status with an airline.
Yeah, so
Hey, Premier, that's luxury. It's got luxury written all over it. Eagle Premier.
Eagle Premier.
Those are manufactured in Connecticut, I think, or somewhere.
So it got to the point where it was so bad with these guys trying to nickel and dime and try to pretty much take the business away from me that I called just after Thanksgiving in early December. I called my brother Joe, I have one older brother, and I said, Joe, I'm coming home, and drove back to Rhode Island. And Monday, I was in my attorney's office and saying, hey, we got a problem. Crip Plate was monstrous, and the sales were crazy, and the money was all going to MCS, and I was getting nothing back in Rhode Island. It was all channeled through there, and the fight was on. Here I am with my business that I started since I was 14 years old, and it's in a legal fight for its life. And I ended up selling it to MCS against my will, and for nowhere near what I wanted to sell it for and how I wanted to sell it for. There was one stipulation in the contract that if they defaulted on payments, I could legally pull Crip Plate back. And in 91, they did just that. They started faltering. The industry crashed.
There just wasn't a big call for number plates.
Yeah, there wasn't a big
No. So, hey, Mike, so on that note, can you tell me, why did you never go into the frame and fork business? Why did you never do that? Expand your line.
I had stuff on the drawing board, but again, I was by myself. I had no partners. My family was helping me to a certain extent, but it wasn't like it was me.
You really concentrated on number plates and numbers.
Well, no, I wanted to expand, but I just didn't have the cash flow to do so. And that's
Got it.
That's
Got
what
it.
88, I was trying to bring that revenue in, either through a joint venture or a partner or something to make that.
Well, you
because I would have said
concentrated.
apparel. Apparel would have been the next. Some type of apparel probably would have been the next.
Yeah.
So power worked out pretty good.
Yeah. So in 91, I got married in 1990, and then in 91, I started bringing Crip Plate back, designing a new injection molded plate, the whole thing, and went to I think it was Hollywood, New Jersey, and I met Bob Tedesco in 91.
Take a drink.
I said, hey Bob, I'm bringing Crip Plate back. I want to sponsor the 92 Grands.
Oh, you knew Bob way
Yeah, but I said, Bob, I want to sponsor 92 Grands, and I want that to be an exclusive Crip Plate race.
JV.
No other co-sponsors, no nothing. And UGP was taking ground and was doing great for themselves. Ronnie Mono was really doing the underground stuff and was starting to come out really well in 89, 90, 91. And I even had it in my clause that he couldn't even set up a team 10. None of my competitors could have a presence there. It was Crip Plate only. And to bring the brand back and, all that good stuff. The deal was that I supplied the NBL with all the
Take a
national
drink.
plates and US Open plates. It was a large contract with a lot of money. In return, I got exclusive rights to the NBL Grands.
Take a drink.
And I delivered the plates 2 weeks before the Grands. Bob Tedesco calls
Take
me
a
and
drink.
says, hey Mike, you did a great job on the plates. We're so happy. And hey, listen, I got GT. They want to come in and film the race for a documentary. And your contract's in place. You're still, it's your race, Mike. And I said, Bob, that's great. If they're gonna be filming and it's all Crip Plate everywhere and so on, that's great. Let's do it. Okay. Brand new race team, two rental vans, fly down to Louisville and show up. Across the starting hill was DT 1992 NBL Grand Nationals and
Take a
a whole bunch
drink.
of co-sponsors. I'm like, well, first off, where these fuckers come from? And secondly, what's the deal with this? I chased down Bob, and of course Bob gives it that southern drawl PA bullshit of don't worry, Mike, we're gonna be giving you and your wife a big gold cup, silver cup at the opening ceremonies and announce this is Crip Plate's race. And Bob never paid, the NBL never paid me for those award
Take a
plates
drink.
and effed me over so bad. So what do? I was always an ABA company. I was an NBL company. I was
Take a
never an
drink.
ABA company. Never went to an NBL, and
Take a
ABA
drink.
National, nothing. I went out to my first ABA Grands with Mike in 92, and I met Clayton John outside his hotel. And I said, Clayton, I want to put an ABA track in Rhode Island, which is out of NBL territory.
Take a drink.
So, Clayton says, great, love to have you. I opened up Robbie Lincourt's dad's old town hall BMX track in Johnston, opened the track up. The ABA sent Bill Allen Sr. to come build my track, built the track, and I stopped. Bob Tedesco sent a direct
Take a drink.
memo to the renowned NBL State Commission saying
Take a drink.
not to allow any, whoever could not allow any of your riders to race the ABA track. If
You say you starved?
I stopped.
Stop.
Not sure what that means actually. I didn't quite get. What does that mean?
We really labor for 2 years.
Hmm.
So the state commissioner, which is a good friend of mine, says, Mike, this is my job. I hate doing this. Is why don't you come MBL?
Take a drink.
And we'll get a series going and so on. So what do? I leave the ABA. I call up Bob Tedesco the end of the 95
Take a
season,
drink.
and I say, hey Bob, do a lot of talking with state commissioner, blah blah blah, and they'd like to come on to be an NBL track. He goes,
Take a drink.
Great, love to have you. I'll FedEx the track operator contract out to you immediately. I go back a week later to winterize my track. My locks are all changed on my gates. My locks are all cut. My Nelson Tower door was ripped open. All the rakes and shovels were thrown out on the ground. And I go in to talk to my landowner. He goes, Mike, there's a guy that came in here last week with a certified letter from the National Bicycle League saying he's the new track director for this track. And we had to sign a $2 a rider contract with him. I never got a phone call, no nothing. So Bob, pissed because I opened up an ABA track in NBL territory.
Take a drink.
Did that. I walked outside, picked up my rakes and shovels, and threw in the back of my beat up car because I didn't have the other car. And
The Eagle Premier.
And I walked away. In 1995, I walked away from BMX.
This is it's a story that's related to what he just said about the track and the bike shop. But JV, remember I sent you the Galindo handlebars?
Yeah.
Before I sent them to you, I took them off the bike. They still had police evidence tag on it from when his bike shop got robbed. They had robbed. I had a Auburn from Todd Corbett. It was a test bike, and I had the Galindo bars on it. And when I got the bike back a month later from the police evidence thing, it still had the police evidence.
Wow.
So I was going to send you the bars with the with the thing on it, but I said, let me take them off. But
No, that's great, man. That's one of the best stickers you could ever have on your bike is the evidence tag.
Johnson Police Department evidence, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Return stolen property, but that's like just a
Wow.
When he was talking about the bike shop and the track, that's a quick thing that came to my head.
Yeah.
Well, Galindo is from Riverside, California. So it's not the first time Galindo bars had some sort of police tag on them, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I still do have the picture with the police evidence tag on it.
So
That's funny.
Hey, going back, Mike, going back to why you didn't make a frame and fork. So during that time when you started your factory teams, could your riders race any frame they wanted to, or did you kind of dictate what they could ride?
No, yeah. I was fortunate enough with the gift of the gab to be able to acquire full factory co-sponsorships with bike companies for my factory riders. So
okay, so that being said, Curtis, when you started, what frame were you on?
I was on just a regular Kmart Huffy.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Just,
that
that was my
with
first,
Crippling.
when I first got with Crip Plate, my first real BMX bike was we had the GT Co factory
It was
sponsor.
a pro series.
Yeah, I remember the story. Yeah.
It was a pro series, and then from there we went to the profile racing, and then free agent after that.
Yeah. So we had the major bike sponsor frame and forks they have for Crip Plate.
Hey, Mike.
Yep.
Hold on a second. Hey, Savage.
Yes.
When you started, what frames were you what'd you start off with when you first started racing? What frame were you riding?
Like when I first started racing, or first
started racing. What did you start on, and then what'd you move to when you got on the Crip Plate?
Mongoose Super Goose.
Mongoose
Wow.
Super Goose.
Not
Yeah.
the one I'm riding now.
No. Right.
And before I got with Mike, my first real race bike was a Kuhara, which I loved. I had the blue Kuhara with the yellow rims, with blue tires, which everybody says colored tires don't go in BMX. Yeah, yellow tough wheels with blue wheels, blue tires. And,
Hey, that's where Terry Tedesco got the idea for the yellow tire. He saw your yellow tire.
so
That's what he
yeah.
did.
Exactly right. And Cathy, when you first started, what were you racing on?
My first bike was a black Hutch Expert frame. Love that thing.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, that's nice.
So you started off on a good bike,
I did.
and then you went to a better one.
Oh,
Then I think when I first came on Crypt Plate, probably had profiles.
Profile.
And then I got the Hollywood frame.
Yep, that was
And I
sponsored by Hutch.
think I was on that for.
Profile was awesome. We had everything profile.
Cranks, pedals, you name it.
Cranks, pedals,
Yeah, that's right.
bars,
I think I still
neck
have
steps,
Bars.
my,
bars, yeah.
The boss.
Baz?
Yep.
Did they have Baz?
Charlie Danishak was a huge sponsor of us from day one.
Oh, and we had the stud,
Right, DK.
Bill Green, we had
Yeah.
a stud co-sponsor too. We had all those gears and that quick change stud system.
I forgot that Profile made pedals.
Yeah,
Yeah, profile, yeah.
the
pedal
horseshoe.
I forgot
stands.
about that.
they call them a horseshoe.
I didn't use them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of rolled these one.
No, from 1982 to 1995, Everett from Vans took care of us, except for when that time when Vans was went bye-bye for a little bit because the illegal aliens or whatever it was there, and they closed the factory down.
Hey.
And then as
Those
you
are my
know-
people you're talking about now. Come on.
As you know, Mike, then it was big in streetwear, and you actually helped sponsor us with vision.
That's right.
You know, so
Like I got a little fanboy thing here. 1984, I believe, North Park.
Oh.
I got
North Park.
North Park. This has been in a basement. I don't know if you can read that. It says,
It's my autograph.
oh, you recognize that signature?
No, but I recognize the semen. I recognize the semen sample on both sides, though.
I've been putting that on checks and credit card applications for years, but it says to Curtis, go for it, Hollywood, with your signature, CW Team Jesus.
That's
from,
awesome, man.
That's from 1984.
Look at that.
That is awesome.
It's
Dude,
a
that
little
is so cool.
autograph and stuff like that, but it's in a book now. It's going in the scrapbook.
Oh, that's great.
It really
Oh,
does look like a
that's my,
Rorschach test.
Yeah.
That's my
I see Bob Dylan.
Yes, it looks like a Rorschach
That's what I
test.
see.
Oh, that's the water thing. But
No,
that's my
what do you
that's my
see?
point.
I see Hiroshima.
I see Hollywood, but
Yeah. Curtis, that's awesome, man. Just made my day.
1984.
Oh, 1984 at South Park.
You know, a stupid kid, you know, asking a pro stupid questions. He was always cool about it. So
And now look, the stupid pro is asking stupid questions now. See how it works out? See how it all comes around?
That was
Oh, man.
that's
We
when we
love
used
you.
to race. We used to race North Park and then South Park on the same weekend.
yes, every
yeah.
Sunday.
everybody forgets about North Park, but that was a pretty cool
Yeah.
track.
Oh,
I like North Park.
hey, I'll never forget North Park, ever. It affects me to this day. We moved to Arizona 2 years ago, and there's lightning storms every day.
Oh, the gate.
And remember, that lightning bolt hit the starting gate at
Yeah.
North Park.
I was
To
about
this day, I
Well,
scream like a cheerleader every time there's lightning or thunder here.
It's
I'll be out there. I'll be outside on the back porch, you know, grilling something, and it hit. I just leave it. I run inside. I just leave it. I make my wife go out and turn the grill off. I won't even go out there. Scared to death.
well because I was probably about 5-6 motors back, so I think I was 16 expert at that time or something. So you got the pros always went, and then it's 17 and over and 16. So I was probably about 3-4 motors back when that hit.
Yeah, I was in staging.
Everybody just
I was
nobody
right there.
knew what to do.
And it was a normal thing at a South Park National that someone you touch the fence, you electrocute during a lightning storm. You know, don't touch the fence, back up.
That's crazy, man.
Right? Did you not
Yeah.
know that, EC, that lightning struck the gate?
I remember
Yes,
hearing.
Struck the
I-
pole
I-
that was right next
Yes,
to the gate.
yeah, the one
I
that held
wasn't
the
even
banner up.
really- Yeah, I wasn't
JV,
really
because
racing
we were
nationals,
probably
but
in the same class or close to the same class.
Yeah, we were right there. I think Mike said he was like waiting for me to go. I think.
Yeah, I was standing at the.
Yeah.
I was standing just below the gate, watch JV race when it hit, and it. I mean, I didn't get hurt, but I mean, remember it popped tires. It burned a guy's arm that was holding the pole. Yeah, it
That
was
was crazy.
crazy.
You was still expert, or you was pro at that time? You pro or pro?
I was expert. Yeah.
Still expert. Yeah, so I was probably
Yeah. So
in-
we were probably in staging together.
exactly. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
crazy. It was crazy. Stuff like that you'll never forget.
No.
Never. To this day, it affects me. To this day, crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. We all ran.
You didn't know what to do.
And now that I'm a track operator and there's lightning, I don't care. Just make the kids race anyway. I don't care. They're ah,
They get to
You know,
experience it too.
that's a good track operator. Just keep the motors,
yeah.
Yeah.
keep them rolling.
Dude, now it sprinkles a little bit and everyone wants to stop. I was like, no, you're racing. We're racing anyway. Just run it.
Back in the day, we never know. Nobody. Is that a Texas shirt you got on?
Oh
He
yeah.
does have a Texas shirt.
Ah, look at you. JV must have brought you that.
No,
they sent it to me.
Yeah.
No,
Because you're
my buddy BR.
Yeah, because you're good like that. Yep.
Yep.
I-
I got my I'm still wearing a Ronnie shirt today.
Yeah. Oh, you know. We won't go. All right. Yeah.
I'll
We-
give
we-
it.
How about we know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah, we know. We know what happens.
We know.
Cathy, I know that we didn't see you race on the West Coast much. When was the first time you came out to the West Coast?
I never raced the West Coast.
I didn't think so.
My furthest was Louisville.
Wow.
Louisville,
That's-
Michigan,
that is not West.
Tennessee. Oh, wait a minute. Oklahoma City.
All right, there you go.
The ABA Grams. But I literally never raced the ABA, and that was my first ABA race. It's the 89 Grams. But that
Wow.
was after they canceled the girls pro class in 87, and I really wasn't racing much, and I really don't even remember why I went to the 89 Grams, but I did. That's the furthest I ever went.
That's nuts.
And Mike Rodrigues, did you ever race?
Of course I did.
Well,
So
tell us about that, because I think
I used to skateboard. I was on I had some of the original Dogtown skateboards back in the mid '70s, and I used to ride ramps and water pipes and all that junk. And it was one day I was pushing along my skateboard along Buttonwoods Park here in Warwick, Rhode Island, in 1977. I come across the Schwinn summer tours, the big tractor trailer, and there was that Warwick Pal BMX was a local track, which I never knew. It was just a little dirt hill mound thing with grass all over it. Was the BMX track, and they used the rubber band start. And that was the first time I remember carrying my skateboard, walking through the pits, and walking and seeing all that chrome and colored anodized red lines, and Panda and Webcos and Gary Littlejohns and all the Raleighs was just whoa. And then a friend of mine, neighborhood little kid, like 2 weeks later, was riding by on a Schwinn Scrambler with motor mags and his Schwinn pants, doing a wheelie all the way down the street. I'm like, I get to know that kid. And next thing you know, I bought a Raleigh Rampart R10, those really heavy gauge spokes and
yeah.
wheels and stuff.
And he still couldn't really.
And
That might be worth more than that star
Yeah.
framing set.
So his name was David Pareca, and he was on my same street he lived, and he was one of my original BMX guys. And him and my other three neighborhood buddies, up to 5 of us, went to BMX race for the first time, and that was 1979, April '79, the first day of Rocky Hill BMX and the first day of NEBA. That was my first day of racing. And
I'm sorry. First day of what? N what?
racing.
And no, NEBA?
NEBA, New England Bicycle Association, where the B Pro class was really big at that time in 79, 80, 81. And all of the the New Jersey pros, Shackle and all of them, Kazuna, John Hood, they all came and raced that series. Then the Florida pros came up, and it was pretty cool. It was a pretty good, vibrant scene.
That was the first year I met Ronnie.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Ronnie and Frank came.
Frank Post.
Frank
yeah.
Post came to represent Panda in '79 for that summer, and to help build the track and get ready for the Ocean State Classic.
Oh, Jeff Patino was there too.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
Wow.
Wow.
But it was
Rocky at Rocky Hill.
Rocky Hill BMX.
Rocky
Yeah.
Hill BMX, yep.
Yeah, it had an NBL National in '84 and '85.
85, yeah. But before that was
I remember Rocky Hill.
Yeah,
Yeah, New England Bicycle Association.
it was a good track. But yeah, it was I started there, and then in '80 I started Crit Plate, in '82 I started my team, and by I think '82 was the last real year of NEBA, and the way they based their points was like the ABA did, where it was overall everything. So if your points got you to 575 into the year, your number was 575. I end up getting number 13 for the year in '82.
Wow.
Out of like 4,000 riders, 5,000 riders. And of course, all my factory riders were second place, first place, fifth place, and so on. So I got number 13 overall in New England. In 1980.
That's fantastic, Mike.
And in '83,
Okay, gotta ask though, what kind of plate did you have?
I had a Crit Plate.
No, not back then. Not in '79. You didn't.
No,
probably had one of those.
no, the 1979 is when I first started racing. I got a Haro plate for Christmas, and I had to cut the crap out of it to make it fit my handlebars, and that's where I broke out some graph paper and designed Crit Plate for the first time, and that's the actual shape. But the first ones were used with
Wow.
So I started racing my own number plate almost right from the get go.
That is awesome.
Have you ever touched a 09 plate?
Of course. You know how
I'm just-
many times I've touched a 09 plate by going up to the starting hill at the Grands or the big race with my AME gear bag full of Crit Plates and rip off a Haro plate or a 09 plate off a top expert or a top pros bars and put out a Crit Plate for them right then and there, shake their hand, and then go out there and get a 2-page color spread in BMX Action magazine.
That was awesome.
Win the race. So yes, I've touched many of the 09.
I had to ask.
Hollywood, I don't think you've ever ran a Crit Plate.
Yes, he has.
Oh yes, I did.
I don't remember.
Yes, I did.
The picture.
When I sponsored Charlie Townsend for Hutch,
Okay.
a few of the Hutch riders, including Hollywood, rode a Crit Plate sometimes on a Hutch.
Yep.
There was another time too. I just saw the picture not too long ago.
Afterwards, after Hutch folded, I raced for 1 or 2 races after that
Free agent.
for Shadow, working for Roger Worsham, right, racing for Shadow on a Crit Plate,
Yes, I remember that.
racing on a Rev Core.
Yes.
Oh, and Mike, I just want to say, I seen some pictures last week of you and at the local. You look.
Oh yeah, JV and I went to Oregon.
Well, I seen some pictures of you. Nice.
That was pretty fun. We had a great time.
Yeah, but you look like the old Hollywood.
He raced.
Yeah,
He won.
Yeah, I raced and still I jumped. It was fun. It was good
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, I seen that. You jumped with the image, looking at the ground.
No, I got to tell you,
He
though.
almost fell that one.
Yeah, see, I got to tell you that on the third moto, I tried to go a little, get a little more rad than I did in the first 2 motos, and I jumped the last jump again, and I did land a little, a little squirrely. Dude, I didn't even come to a stop, and JV was right in my face. Ah, you almost crashed! Couldn't wait to tell me.
I love the photo with the little look back.
Yeah,
They say, who cares what happened after the picture? Was
That's right. The
that's
picture
exactly
was good,
right. Yeah,
You're exactly right.
Case in point, Jones Track
Well,
in California.
the image is perfect.
Our first I got a first ever photo shoot with in front of Wendy Osborne for BMX Action for Mike Savage. We're at the Jones Track.
that's right. That's right. My local practice track.
Yep. And I remember Mike was his first jump,
Number 1.
first jump. Comes out of the rental car, builds his bike, comes over the jump. It was that little turn, that little step turn thing.
Yep.
And that track was like cement. It was like today's tracks. And that track was so hard packed. And he came up, clicked it all he could. When he took the photograph, and he tacoed his front rim. He couldn't ride the rest of the day. And that's the one that made the inside cover. And they said, "How bold can you go, East Coaster? Mike Savage. We'll call this the Savage Snap." So that
All you need is one.
That's it.
One picture.
One and done.
All you need is one. Yep.
Yep. That right there is shots fired. And that couldn't hurt anywhere.
Hey, look how much money I saved him on slide development.
Yeah.
One picture, one
Can we-
slide.
Can we do something without you getting mad at me? We do like
No,
Three.
don't make an ass out of me.
Yeah.
3 things
No,
that nobody
no,
knows
yeah,
about
yeah,
Mike
no.
Savage.
You gotta.
Go ahead.
We ready? All right. You're not gonna hate me. You love me anyways, but we're gonna travel together. We're gonna do it. All right. I'll start.
All
with,
right, I'll take
I'll
it.
start with number 1.
Number
All right,
1, here we go.
He literally has pet squirrels and a pet chipmunk, which is amazing.
Yes.
'Cause
Like in a cage?
like
No, he sees mother. They
No.
set me up at Dirty Fest.
no, they live in outdoors, but as soon as he calls them or opens his garage door, they literally come running to his deck and he can hand
Oh my
they'll
God.
go in his hand. He can pick them up. They don't get.
Do they have names?
Like a Cinderella thing.
Oh
he's,
yeah,
he's a squirrel.
What's her? I got to know. What's their names?
June. June is the mother squirrel. The father squirrel is Sweeper. They had a kid, so I combined those 2 names and called the kid Jeeper.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is your entertainment. You asked for it, you're getting it.
All right. Okay.
I call the chipmunk's name is Squeaker because he squeaks, makes little squeaker noises, and I have a bird, a blue jay.
Wow.
And what's the Blue Jays name?
They-
I call it Birdie.
All right.
Fantastic.
Oh my
Freaking Dr. Doolittle over here.
They'll go in like they'll go right in his hand. They go like climb on him, go on his shoulder, like not.
But not you, Curtis. They won't do it to you.
They'll run for.
No, they know a kid from the streets.
All right, number 2, you're not gonna.
All right. 2.
That's number 2. What's number 2?
He hasn't eaten a fruit or a vegetable since he's been like 9 or 8.
Never,
Never.
not having,
Never. Never. He's 57, 58, 57, gonna be 58. He's never had a fruit or a vegetable in his life.
ever.
And fits in his race pants from back in the day.
Wow. That's
From
true.
85, yes.
Yeah, I heard you called me out on the bee pod or the bee cast thing the other day.
Yeah.
it's
Well,
only
I mean,
meat.
in a good way.
What is it? Is it meat and what? Meat, bread, and candy?
He's never had meat. He doesn't eat meat either.
Wait.
Not that I won't. I don't have anything against it. I just
Wait.
He doesn't
No
eat-
meat.
if it's
No
no
vegetables.
chicken, no nothing.
Carbs.
No
Bread,
fruit.
no fruit.
What does that leave?
no, exactly.
Let's see, there's Sour Patch Kids, there's Sour Patch, there's gummy worms, there's Twizzlers.
Dude, we're in your season right now, Savage.
What's that?
I said we're in your season right now.
Yeah, there you go.
Bro.
Dude, he's a
Well, you
trick or
don't
treat
even have to go
fiend.
grocery shopping.
He's hungry. He's hungry. Well, no. Fig Newtons.
There you go.
He'll eat a whole pack of Fig Newtons in like
Oh yeah.
one sitting.
There you go.
Now you're talking, baby. I love
and,
those things.
and just plain bread. Like he'll literally buy a loaf of
So-
12 rolls of like
Like white bread?
whole wheat,
Whole wheat.
and just
So-
eat those.
so how about
eat the whole
this?
thing.
So
Like he'll eat it at night, he'll eat it in the morning. Nothing, no like we eat, no burgers, he eats pizza, just a plain cheese pizza, and that's it. That's pretty much his diet. And
So let's say it's your
he's in better shape
birthday.
than me.
Hey, Savage, let's say
Yes.
it's your birthday, right?
Okay.
And your family, your buddies, they say, wherever you want to eat, pick your best meal, your favorite meal. Where do you go? What do you eat?
Oh, we're eating pizza.
Plain,
From 7-Eleven.
No, I'm not
Damn.
I'm not that desperate.
Pizza, but cheese only.
No,
Yes.
cheese only, that's it.
Regular or Sicilian?
Like I ordered tonight for him.
Just regular.
Regular.
See, it's Uncle Caesar's, what is it?
Little Caesars.
Little Caesars.
Only because it's cheap.
And you get pizza,
And
pizza.
No, they don't give me two anymore.
Ah.
So, you know how Mike is famous for his savage snap and jumping, right? So back in the day, he would be in so much pain on his ankle that we'd have to go get like French fry containers and stuff and stick inside his socks to protect his ankle. Well, what year was it you had surgery? You had to go with the ankle.
I had no choice.
I had two.
He wasn't gonna.
What's the
go.
one they looked at and the doctor like?
Oh, it was 2001.
So 2001, he went to have his ankle looked at for surgery and so on, and they got the X-ray up on there. And what did the doctor say?
He's never seen an ankle that bad ever.
And it wasn't the surgery they had like the auditorium where they actually had everybody watching, looking
It was
at
the Yukon Medical Center.
Yeah, they were doing.
So they had an audience of how bad his ankle was.
Never had a drop of alcohol in his body ever.
These guys are gonna hate that.
No, I've never had a
No.
drop either.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the last
Never a drop. Never a drop.
Unless he drops a drum.
But we get along with, I don't know, we're like brothers.
After 40 years.
Yeah, we deal with each other. We've been traveling.
It is awesome.
Been doing stuff since 1984.
Well, you guys must have some great traveling stories.
We do.
Hey, we
Yeah,
wrecked it. We
yeah.
wrecked it. Now
Yeah,
tell you
there's
a rental
too
car.
many-
That's
No,
not.
no, not yet. Not yet. No rental cars, not yet. Tell me a travel story. Tell me a travel story.
Oh,
Cathy, do you have a travel story?
We have a lot. Let's see.
No, Cathy. No, I want to know if Cathy has one that she can tell.
Well, I got an old school travel story.
Yeah, that's what we want.
When our fearless leader used to race, we were, I believe,
it Schenectady,
it
you know?
was Schenectady or Schenectady.
Yes,
I believe it was a national. Back in the day, they used to have regional nationals, and then there was nationals. But I think it was a regular national.
That was a regional.
A regional national, and Mike's all pumped up. He's racing the next morning, so we were pretty much we had the van and we had some tents set up, so we're all sleeping out. And
Out in the
it's like
stars.
out in the stars, so it's like 4:30 in the morning. Where's Mike? Where's Mike? He's nowhere to be around. Go look for him. He's actually at the starting gate, walking up and down from the starting gate to the first jump. Now he has a bottle of Flintstone vitamins, and he is chugging them like
I
6 or
popped
7
those
at a time.
All the way there.
Because he's getting all pumped and he wants energy for the next day. So now he's walking the track by himself, like eating like 6 or 7 Flintstone vitamins every chug, chewing them. Mike, what are you doing? No, I'm laying out. I'm looking at the best line. I'm doing this. I want to see the distance from here and go high and
Do
low.
ghost starts and
Blah, blah,
stuff.
blah. So
Don't you?
long story short, he ate the whole bottle of Flintstone vitamins within about 15 minutes, which I don't know what it does for you or what it's going to do for you, but he literally ate the whole bottle and stayed up from 4:30 in the morning until racing started, walking the track and doing his line and whatever. And I was like, all right, well,
I love it.
when race time comes, he's like pretty much he's at the truck like this.
Sleeping.
So like just done. Like how'd that bottle of vitamins work out for you? And
Oh, that's great.
I don't even remember how he did, but it was like Flintstone vitamins for real. Like you think that's gonna give you some extra edge or something, but that was
Do back then.
He was on the juice.
yeah, he was on Flintstone vitamins. And when I say he did eat the whole bottle, who knows what comes in at 40, 50, but
Oh my
he-
gosh.
he ate the whole bottle from 3:30.
I bet he shit fruity pebbles the next day.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you're shitting rainbows, dude.
One of the wildest and craziest things I did was with Jenny Zuner and
Yes.
Margaret Carroll. We were in Sarasota racing, and I believe it was Easter. It was April.
Yeah, always in Easter, right?
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the weekend, yeah, the two.
So Margot is off at her moto, Zuner rides down the street, buys a bunny off of some guy selling bunnies on the side of the street, comes back with a bunny. So literally in Margot, we're just traveling in Margot's VW Golf, the three of us. And so we just had the bunny for the rest of our summer tour. And after Sarasota, we went down to Orlando. I'm 16, they're a little bit older. We're on Daytona Beach, no sunscreen, it's mid-80s. I am red as a lobster. And the whole trip back up the East Coast to get home, I have a little bunny running all over my little lobster body. Because it's just loose. We didn't have anything for a bunny, like a cage or anything. Just under
The
car.
car was the cage.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah, exactly.
And
So-
now that bunny lives with Savage.
Yes, he's a bunny whisperer too.
There you go.
But with
He's
room for him.
He's a
Kathy-
squirrel whisperer. He's the chipmunk whisperer. He might-
Oh my gosh.
bunny whisperer.
Yeah.
That bunny, I think, died not that long ago, and its name was McFly. Of the
He lived
times.
that long.
Oh my gosh.
It probably died 20 years ago, but it lived a long time with Margot.
you
Yeah,
see, I think-
Margot kept the bunny.
yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
St. Louis, yeah.
McFly.
I think you mentioned this once when you were younger about touring with adults and just going on the road for like half the summer and bye mom and dad.
That's what we
You know,
did.
and
Yeah.
Kathy mentioned the same thing. She's like, can't believe it because I was like 13 years old and like I'm going with my sponsor. Bye mom, see you in the summer.
Sure.
I
You
know.
know,
All summer is
yeah,
gone.
and your parents are like, what? No, bye, I'll call you. You know.
I know, it's
took a
crazy.
ride home after Louisville,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah.
Even being in high school, it's like people didn't understand. It's like, oh, well, I'm going for the summer. What do you mean? You're going where?
like for the weekend, for
I'm
the
going.
week.
No,
No, all
I'm going. I'm going with my team. We're going.
Yeah, we're traveling with an adult.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
if you notice,
It's okay. We have a bunny. It's okay. We have a bunny.
By the way, I'm getting a kick out of all their accents too, because I don't hear it much anymore, so it's
Yeah,
great.
but
And you don't have one, by the way. You don't have one.
I've only been here half a day in New England, so
She
by
lost,
next weekend it'll be back.
So-
she lost her draw.
what was really cool, as I mentioned earlier, was that she just flew in on the red eye this morning, and she took her mom to a doctor's appointment early this morning.
That-
and I followed her-
And then she raced a local race, and now she has to fly back.
Exactly.
I'm doing the savage.
There you go.
But yeah, my mother, I looked at her and I'm like, hey, can I
Right, we
play
do
at
it.
my
We
friend's house? Might be like,
It's so BMX. It's so BMX. Well, let me-
Yeah.
Let me say that it's awesome that even after all these years, the Crit is still a family.
Yeah.
And you guys are certainly part of the BMX family. And we're so, just so, I mean, grateful to have you guys on our show today. It's a privilege to have all of you. I mean, you're BMX royalty. You really are. You each have a different story, and you make the sport better, and you definitely make our podcast better. So thanks for coming on.
There you go. Thanks.
I just want to say, we need more East Coast representation on Dirty Knobs.
Don't
We're
worry, I'll be
working on
editing
it.
that out. Woo! Well, like I said, hey, you guys are BMX family, and you'll always be part of the Dirty Knobs family. Love you guys.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
Kathy, great seeing you too.
Kathy.
Well, hey guys, thank you so much, man. This was awesome.
Yeah, it
All
was.
right. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you guys all could be together too.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's a very special night. Very special night for Dirty Fest, for Dirty Knobs, and for Crypt Plate.
Thank you.
Awesome. Hey, Hollywood. You remember leaving Frogtown? You gave it to him.
Yeah.
You said give it to you. You said give it to the boss man.
Hold on.
He wouldn't even touch it.
No, that seriously is not the same hot dog.
Yeah, I flew it back from Angel Camp.
Oh my God.
I'm serious. I saved it for the podcast.
Dude, that weenie has miles.
It's so
You wouldn't believe
Dude.
what I went through. to
That
get-
Weenie's Eagle Premiere. That Weenie's Eagle Premiere.
There you go.
That's beyond an eagle snack.
Yeah.
Dude, hey, save that thing. Listen, save that thing and
Oh,
bring
shoot.
it to Dirty Fest, and we'll
There you
see. We'll get a number. We'll have a number. We'll see if we can get somebody to do it. Careful, you're gonna break the table.
Yes.
Well, we could probably get Ronnie to take a bite out of it.
Yes.
He'll take a bite out of that.
Oh man, so good. Well, guys, hey man, this is awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Love you
Yeah,
guys.
thank you,
Oh,
everybody.
no, listen.
Here we go.
Yeah.
We'll see it. This ain't being recorded anymore, right?
Oh, it's all recorded. It's all recorded.
Everything's recorded.
By the
Just
way,
what
there's
we edit
stuff.
out.
There's stuff we edit out, but then there's stuff we add on in the end that we just leave in because it's too funny. Like
Oh.
like you hitting that weenie on the table. That's definitely gonna make it.
Yeah.
Hey, shake it up by the camera.
Yeah.
Easy.
Easy. This is a family show. Easy.
Curtis.
Hey.
Curtis.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yo,
See, see if you get that. Give that thing to Savage. See what he does.
No,
No.
You're gonna show me Cathy.
Yes.
Mike,
no. You didn't deflect it.
Hey, across the forehead.
it's like kryptonite to him.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
Hit him across the forehead with that thing. Hit him
Like
across the
kryptonite.
forehead.
Oh, it's kryptonite to him. I told you, no meat, no vegetables, no fruit.
Hey, so we're gonna tell you guys. I'm gonna tell you something funny. It's gonna come out when you see the episode.
Oh boy.
Yeah, before we started, we three got on the line. We said, okay, every time Rodrigues says the word Haro, NBL, or Pop Tedesco, you have to take a drink.
I noticed that. I saw that.
And they're like,
Oh, that's why you
JV.
kept saying JV.
That's why they kept saying JV.
JV.
I couldn't keep up.
Are we still recording?
That was the time.
Are we still recording?
Jamie was like, God, we gotta get him off racing. We gotta stop talking about
Sexing. I
racing.
go, we gotta stop with the racing. Can we switch? Should we switch?
He's with Ronnie. He still wants his contingencies from 1985.
Dude, I couldn't. My elbow was hurting from the. Yeah, we went to ABA, then NBL, and then we bumped to this and NBL, and then we went to NBL, and I was like, oh man, so good.
Hollywood,
Thrown in.
Hollywood, you should have a picture of my squirrel. It's coming your way.
Oh,
Oh,
You have a squirrel picture.
well, let me send you a picture of my wife's beaver.
JV.
Oh, what? Oh, that's getting edited out.
Come on.
That's getting edited out. Oh, this is so good.
This is funny. Too funny. You guys.
This is what we do.
Hey,
I know. You guys are the best.
Exactly.
Well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, you guys have a great night. Thank you so much. This was great.
okay.
a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Kids, we'll see you in
Yeah.
April.
Hey, this is John Cruz. No, we're not having an earthquake. I have Parkinson's. What do you think of that, Michael?
We ought to pitch in and get you a gimbal.
That would be nice. But seriously, this is John Cruz, and I obviously have something going on, and I was diagnosed with Parkinson's 20 years ago this year, actually. So I've chosen the Davis Finney Foundation over the years to be my voice for Parkinson's. If you're not familiar with the Davis Finney Foundation, Davis Finney is one of the winningest cyclists in American history. He's the roadie, if you guys remember those roadies out there, all that Lycra and stuff. But he is just a great man. When he was diagnosed with Parkinson's, he decided to make a difference in people's lives. And his choice was to start a foundation. And that foundation obviously wishes for a cure for Parkinson's, because there is no cure at this time. But they recognize that you have to live with Parkinson's. And your caregivers are having to live and take care of us. And the Davis Finney Foundation, that's what they do, is they only look for a cure, but they look for ways to enhance the quality of life for Parkinson's sufferers and their caregivers. So I appreciate all of you supporting the Davis Finney Foundation. It certainly means a lot to me. I know we all have something, right? So I think it's important to give back to our communities, whether it's BMX or a foundation that's close to your heart. If you don't have one, please choose mine. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you, John Cruz. You certainly have made a difference in a lot of lives, including mine. and giving us the opportunity to do something good for somebody else is fantastic. So thank you so much. And on behalf of John Cruz, please find a way to give something to the Davis Finney Foundation on behalf of John Cruz, the Dirty Knobs, and your entire BMX family. Thank you very much. Well, I hope you enjoyed that one, you bunch of dirty knobs. So please do that. Subscribe, hit the subscribe button. Comment if you have anything to say. We'd love to hear it. And we will be back out here in 2 weeks with another one. And thanks to our sponsors. Speaking of which, we are going to read some commercials to you now. Thanks for showing our sponsors the love, because they're showing it to us. Thanks again, and we'll catch up to you soon. And then sing it out right now.
All right, coming live and direct from the Colt Clubhouse in Santa Ana, California. Come on down and get all your BMX needs. We're giving away free air for your tires. That's all I got, brother.
That's great. That's great. All right. Now.
It's perfect.
Perfect.
Kinda, designed for your journey. On the road, on the trail, or on the racetrack, you can count on Kinda quality. Our tires are engineered for performance and value across a wide range of interest and applications. See why Kinda is the right choice. It's your move.
Imagine how bikes can lead to a healthier, more connected world. Bikes set us apart, free to explore and move and experience our relationships with people and places like nothing else can. At Ceres, we don't just imagine a more bikeable world, we're all in, making it happen.
SR Sun Tour shares your passion of cycling. We are committed to giving you the highest level of service in the industry, along with products that hopefully will exceed your expectations. Serving riders is the cornerstone of our business, and we pride ourselves in doing it.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Velocity Bike Park is the premier bike park for riders in Southern California, with 25 miles of world-class trails, obstacles, flow track, and races for mountain biking, gravel, and BMX.
Ultramax, when you get home from the races, do you feel dirty? I mean, is your bike dirty? Really dirty? I know you're dirty. Well, that's when you need the Ultramax sponge, guaranteed to get all your hard to reach places clean. I know, because Hollywood is always dirty. Not available where reading glasses and bobbleheads are sold, but you can still get an Ultramax t-shirt at dirtyknobs.com.
Hi everybody, Toby Henderson, founder of Box, co-founder of American BMX Companies, the owner of Race Inc., Botima, and Cook Brothers Racing. We brought these two companies together to bring you the best quality product you can get for a BMX bike. We're all about the rider, so please check out our Level Up and Rider First programs. See you at the track.
ODI Grips, the world leader in grip technology, home of the lock-on grip system. Check them out over at www.odigrips.com.
4416 Designs commercial, take one.
All right, 4416 Designs. We make shirts, but we don't sell them. We're just giving back to the sport. If you're out at Ukaipa BMX and you need a shirt, hit me up. I'll hook you up with one.
Yeah, I love that.
Mega Design Group is a full-service marketing firm. They handle everything from logos to advertising to packaging. Having over 25 years experience in the print and marketing fields, they can handle any hurdle. Check it out at megadesigngroup.com.
Carbone Cartel, for the finest carbon BMX racing products in the market. Make sure you check us out at carbonecartelbmx.com. Our products are ridden by the best in the sport. Drew Polk, Nick Long, and many, many more. This isn't the cheap shit you get from Ali Bobbitt. Make sure you check us out again at carbonecartelbmx.com.
Cool Stop Brake Pads. high-performance bicycle brake pads since 1977. Check them out at coolstop.com. That's KOOLSTOP.com.
Supercross BMX. What can we say? Our lives revolve around BMX. Founded in 1989 to build the ultimate BMX race frame, they've never strayed from that vision. Hey, for more details, check it out at supercrossbmx.com.
Hey everyone, this is Brian Wilson with ProGate. We are the official gate supplier for UCI and the Olympics. We even make a gate that you can practice on in your driveway at home.
Wait a minute, who else are you making a gate for?
We're making a gate for Dirty Fest. You guys got to come and check it out. Whatever Dirty Fest needs for this track, we're going to supply it. We're not some French knockoff, you know. We're the gold standard in BMX gates. And make sure to check us out at progate.net and bmxtracksupply.com, and we'll see you at Dirty Fest for sure. Take care, everybody.
Hey, folks, this is Mike Rodrigues, aka Mr. Crit. I've been racing and making number plates since 1980. You know, like when they used to do one pedal starts. But you know, Crit Plate has been around for 43 years. The last 4 decades, the who's who of BMX have raced a Crit number plate straight to the handlebars. And you know, you get that guy Mike Savage, the international man of BMX, still doing it strong. And you know, back in the day, the plates used to be reversible because there was multiple sanctions, and you could put, you know, one sanction on one side, one on the other. Now you just got one. But Crit is still reversible, and that logo is still on the back for guys like Mike and your rad guys, you know, like Mike Miranda, who would turn those handlebars and twist them up. And we got it rad just for you.
All right. Hey, where will we see those plates?
Those plates you can see at every single bike shop that stocks BMX stuff in the USA and Canada.
And where will you be at? Will you be at an event sometime soon?
Damn, I'm sponsoring the Dirty Fest, and I can't wait to come out to Southern California and get dirty.
Amy grips, still made here in the USA, used by world champions like me, Tommy Brackens. If you want to know more about the best grips on earth, go to amy.com.
If you have a Senna cycling helmet, you know what it's like to ride connected. Senna got their start in communications for the motorcycling industry, where they're now a leader. Senna brought their same tech that goes into those helmet-to-helmet motorcycle communication systems into cycling helmets. Senna bike helmets have an integrated microphone and 2 speakers hidden right into the shell. Senna helmets connect together on a mesh or Bluetooth network so you can talk to your friends while you ride without shouting over wind noise, even if you're not side by side. That is super cool, especially in the trails. Senna helmets also pair with smartphones, so you can listen to your playlist without blocking out ambient noise, and you can take phone calls and even hear turn-by-turn GPS directions.
Ready?
And that's going in.
Yeah. We need a doing. All right.
What's your nickname for like on the mic? Do you have a?
No.
You don't have?
I don't really have a nickname. It's Mike.
Oh.
Just Mike on the mic.
Name in my app.
She got one.
That's getting edited.
Yeah.
We're putting that in.
Hi, I'm Mike Miller, author of Day One by Michael Miller. And a special offer going out. Anybody who buys the book between now and Dirty Fest, which is April 28th through 30th, I'm going to take all the money from the book and send it to the Davis Finney Foundation for those with Parkinson's. So get your copy on Amazon.com and we'll make a donation.
Hey, what was the name of that book again?
Day One by Michael Miller, which is me.
I'm sorry. Hey, what was that name again?
Day One by Michael Miller.
Hey, support the podcasts that support us, our friends. The fine folks over there at All Things BMX, which is our favorite Wednesday night live podcast, as you know. Our buddies over there at Beer Budget BMX, Big Bike BMX, and BMX Weekly. Check them out. Check them out. Our friends.
What's up, everybody? It's your friend Isaac from Big Bike BMX, and I've got a podcast with my best friend, 80s BMX Craig.
Yep. And guess what, you guys? If you have enjoyed your time here on the Dirty Knobs podcast, we'd love for you guys to come over and hang out with us at Big Bike BMX, where we've got all your old school legends and BMX from the past and today at Big Bike BMX. Isaac,
come check us out. We'd love the opportunity to win you over. And if not, hey, it's just another place to talk about BMX with your grimy friends. It's fun.
Hey, Dale Holmes, I want to tell you something. One of my favorite podcasts that I never miss is BMX Weekly. Even though it has an accent, I still love it.
Cheers, Mike. You can get all the podcasts on bmxweekly.com. Old school, mid school, today's school. Check it out.
Yeah, BMX Weekly.
Hey, here we go. Hey, Beer Budget BMX, baby. Coming at you live from the Beer Budget studios over here at the Hack Shack Quarantine. Oh, man, we're coming in hotter than Satan's nutsack. Yeah, we are dirtier than an Alabama strip club where reclass pros go and get lap dances by their half-sister. Yeah, the only show that'll make you second-guess your life choices like a Amish on an e-bike.
Hey, if you guys enjoy what you just listened to, make sure you tune in every Wednesday night to the All Things BMX show, the only live streaming podcast show in the game right now. Even ask Mike. He's been on. Vicente's been on. Still waiting for that other guy to come on the show. You can find us on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. And you can also find us at allthingsbmxshow.com.
Keep it dirty.
Hey, what glasses you like better? These ones? Or these, or these ones?
Why do you have the same ones?
Costco.
Oh, gotcha.
Hey,
It
hold
came
on.
in a pack. Came in a pack.
Multi-pack. Or these ones.
Oh, are those prescription or no? Those aren't prescription though.
No, they're not prescription. Here's mine.
Are those Oakleys?
No, there's some Jokeleys or something.
Jokley, they're Jokeleys.
Got them in Tijuana. Hey, what's the number for EC?
What do we got?
It's
What's
603. What's your number?
Oh, he wasn't even on the. He was on the.
What's your number?
606.
Oh, come on.
I'm going 3 more minutes. You think more than that?
I'll give you, listen to this. I owe you $6. I'll give you 608 and I'll take the over.
Okay.
On the
I'll take
Aloha
it.
bet.
I'll take that.
Yeah, thought you would.
Take that.
608 means two tie, all tie.
Okay. Right on 608, you're saying?
Yeah, if he lands on 608, it's two tie, all tie. No blood.
You have the over, you're saying?
I'm taking the over on 608.
Okay.
So
okay.
it's even 609.
Got it.
I just got 604. Official race time 604.
Okay.
608 just turned.
Yeah.
So we're in the. You can't win now.
Either could you.
No, I can. If he comes
I
on,
thought it was no man's at 608. I mean,
yeah, 608 is no
609.
man's. Till
Yeah.
6. If he hits 609, then I win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh god damn it! 6. He just came on. Oh, you're so
Perfect.
lucky. You're so lucky.
Perfect.
You're so lucky. He just came on.
Yep.
But
Curtis, you said you had something you wanted to share with us. What is it, man?
yeah, well, because
You gave
I
it
wanted
to-
to give this back to you, but it's been
Since
since Frogtown, so I want to offer this up to you. I wish I could send it like via Gmail, email, or whatever, teleport it to you, but Hollywood, this is for you.
Hey, dunk that thing in a glass of beer and let's pass it around.
Hey, my question is, I got a question.
Is it
How
the same
much?
one?
Yeah. What's your number? Hey, what's your number?
What's your number?
Is it the same one or because you hit me with Dirty Fest when you was pulling out with that? I don't know if it was the same one or if it was a new one, but that thing looked nasty. But
You got hit with the.
I'm saving this for April. I'm gonna put this on a plane, put it in my bag, and I'm bringing this to you in April in Dirty Fest.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep. Hey, everybody's got a number. Everybody's got a number.
Right.
That is awesome. Oh my gosh, that's great.